actually. Starting with that big space moment, we're expecting some inputs on the show this evening. The first round of remarks after Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla landed on the International Space Station. He's the first Indian to do that. And on the show for the first time since Operation Sindoor, 2 months after Operation Sindoor, Pakistan admitting to how China supplied intel to them during the operation or India's air defense. All that and more coming up. Here are the headlines on This Is Exclusive.
Mission 4, Commander Peggy Whitson, the first one across the A-Pass hatch, receiving great big hugs from Nicole Ayers and the Expedition 73 crew.
Axiom 4 crew inside the International Space Station. Docking process complete. Marks the beginning of a 14-day mission. Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla officially the first Indian now on the International Space Station. Celebrations across India after docking successfully on the International Space Station. Celebrations at Shubhanshu Shukla's hometown in Lucknow. A big win for forces in Jammu and Kashmir's Udhampur. Top Jaish commander trained by the Pakistani army neutralized in the encounter 2 weeks after Operation Sindoor. It's the first ever admission on record by Pakistan about China's role in Operation Sindoor. The government in Pakistan admits China shared intel about India post-Pahalgam. Anger in Bollywood over Diljit Dosanjh's movie featuring a Pakistani actress. Different film bodies now calling for complete boycott of Diljit Dosanjh. 2 months after Operation Sindoor, ladies and gentlemen, we have Pakistan pushing terror once again. A terrorist from Pakistan, trained by the Pakistani army, neutralized a few hours back in Udhampur, Jammu and Kashmir. I have the exclusive pictures for the first time since Operation Sindoor. Another Pakistani terrorist eliminated by our forces successfully, trained by Masood Azhar's Jaish-e-Mohammed. He belonged to the Jaish-e-Mohammed. And he was trained by the Pakistan SSG, the Special Forces in Pakistan. And he was evasive since 2024, entered India in 2024. And we have exclusive pictures. Let's show you the pictures. First up, exclusive pictures on Republic of the Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorist who was eliminated today in Udhampur, and how our forces managed to track him down and eliminate him. The encounter was ahead of Amarnath Yatra. There is a heightened security, and he was tracked, he was eliminated. My colleague Gursimran joining us with the details of the Jaish terrorist who was eliminated. There are more details, in fact, coming in of the role of this terrorist in the valley in the last few days. Exclusive picture there on the right of your screen of the Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorist. His name is Maulvi. He was codenamed Maulvi. He's a Jaish commander, and he's been killed in the Udhampur encounter. Codenamed Maulvi, he infiltrated with a group of Jaish terrorists in April 2024, escaped from another encounter that was on in Katua in September 2024, and we've managed to track him down and eliminate him 2 months after Operation Sindoor. Another Pakistani terrorist from Pakistan, trained in Pakistan, trained by Masood Azhar's Jaish and Pakistani army alike. Gursimran. This shows that Pakistani terrorists are still active. India had said after Operation Sindoor that any terror attack would be deemed as an act of war. Any terror attack on Indian soil will be deemed as an act of war.
Yes, Niranjan, you have rightly mentioned that 2 months after the Operation Sindoor, today is the 51st day of the Operation Sindoor, and now the Pakistani terrorists who were operating inside India, they are on the radar of the security forces. Today morning, the special forces of the Indian Army, they were operating in the area of, it is the Kuru Nala area, where they were operating in the Basantgarh area of Udhampur district, when they got the intel about the movement of the 4 terrorists of Jaish-e-Mohammed in the area, after which the operation was launched. And during the initial exchange of fire with the terrorists, there was a hit that the security forces were confirmed, but due to the low visibility, dense fog that was prevailing in the area, it was only 10 to 15 meter visibility that was there. It took forces time, but by the afternoon, we are told by the sources in the Indian Army as well as the Jammu and Kashmir police that 1 terrorist has been killed. Now we are getting the confirmation that it was Maulvi who infiltrated along with the Jaish-e-Mohammed group. He was leading that group. He was the commander of the Jaish-e-Mohammed, was seen carrying a M4 rifle along with him that is usually given to the commanders by Jaish-e-Mohammed. He was trained by the Pakistani Special Services Group, which is an elite Pakistani army force, and they have been training the terrorists to carry out havoc in Jammu and Kashmir to target the security forces and the civilians. He escaped an encounter.
I'm going to have to interrupt you there, Gursimran, because we're getting a live feed. We've had a historic moment today. Stay with me. We've had a historic moment today where Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla has become the first Indian to land on the International Space Station. The crew is speaking live. I'm cutting across. That's a live feed.
All smiling faces. And with your arrival, right now, there are 11 astronauts from 6 countries, and all of us are here in order to advance human space exploration and scientific research, symbolizing international cooperation. So from this moment, you are also a part of Expedition 73. And once again, welcome aboard. And I will pass the microphone to Action for Commander Peggy Whitson.
Thank you so much, Tak, and for the 73 crew as well. We appreciate being invited in. You guys are exceptional hosts, and hopefully you'll think we're exceptional guests at the end of a couple of weeks. But we're looking forward to getting a lot of work done with you guys, and I really appreciate all the support you've provided to us in advance of actually even getting here. I think that's very unique and special about you. And the best part about being a commander on a mission with all rookies is you get to watch the rookies go through it for the first time. And it helps you remember some of the things you went through the first time. But it also, it's just very special to get to relive the experience again through these guys. And so I'd like to give these guys their astronaut pins. So we'll start with Shubhanshu Shukla, astronaut number 634.
Wow.
Okay, that's a live briefing from the International Space Station. Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla, astronaut number 634. And he's getting that badge. That briefing continues. Let's cut back live.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and let these out.
Thank you, Peggy. Oh, so I am number 634. That's a privilege. No, but to be fair, it is a privilege to be amongst the few who have got the chance to see the Earth from a vantage point that I have been able to see now. It has been a wonderful ride. It has been great, and I was looking forward to come to space. It is something to look forward to as such. But the minute I entered the International Space Station and you guys, this crew, you just made me feel so welcome, as if you literally opened your doors, like your house doors for us. That's true. So, but it was fantastic. I feel even better. Whatever expectation I had of coming here, they were surpassed by the view. Of course, that's the big part of it, but by you guys as well. So thank you so much. I think this was fantastic. This is wonderful, and I'm very, very confident that the next 14 days are going to be amazing. Doing, as you said, advancing science and research and working together. Thank you so much.
And number 635, Slawosz Uznanski-Wisniewski. Slav, go for it.
Thank you, Peggy, and thank you all for such a warm welcome to the International Space Station. Expedition 73, 11 people. I remember this moment from our training that we met already once before, all of us, in Houston, and now we are meeting up here on the International Space Station. So this is such a tremendous place. For me as an engineer and a scientist, this is an ultimate scientific laboratory where we come to do science, to test our technologies of our countries, to do technology demonstrators and science outreach that I can't wait to do for the next 2 weeks. And we will all try to do the best representing our countries. I represent Poland for the first time on the International Space Station, as well as ESA, not for the first time. So ESA had, as an international partner, had a lot of missions to the ISS, but Poland, this is for the first time. So thank you for having us, and we are very honored to be here among you. As you said, 6 nationalities. We bring 3 extra ones, and we can't wait to spend this time together. Thank you.
And last but not least, number 636, Tibor Kapu. I just needed practice. It got easier.
It was an easier guy. All right. So, thank you very much, guys, for this really, really warm welcome. I really feel that this is the best crew that we could join to. It really feels great to be part of Expedition 73. As Tak, the commander, said that we have so many countries in the same time in the space station, but we also have 7 out of 11 who are complete new flyers, which also tells me how much space is expanding towards a new era. One of my friends told me 2 days ago when I was asking him what should I tell in space, what should be my speeches about, and he said that if there's ever a time for speaking from the heart, then this is it. And my heart is so full right now because of you guys and because of seeing Earth for the first time. There is a lot to choose from. So I'm extremely happy to be here, happy to represent my country. On our ride up, we actually saw our countries flying above those. It's truly a special feeling. Looking forward for these 2 weeks. I'm 100% sure that this is going to be awesome. Thank you.
On the ground, so you guys are welcome to speech.
Oh,
yeah.
और एक छोटा सा संदेश मेरे प्यारे देशवासियों के लिए, आपके प्यार और आशीर्वाद से सुरक्षित मैं इंटरनेशनल स्पेस स्टेशन पे पहुंच चुका हूं। और बहुत आसान दिख रहा है यहाँ खड़े होना, लेकिन थोड़ा सा मुश्किल है, थोड़ा सा सर भारी है, थोड़ी तकलीफ हो रही है, लेकिन ये सब बहुत छोटी चीज़ें हैं और कुछ ही दिनों में हम इसके यूज्ड टू हो जाएंगे। और ये पहला पड़ाव है इस जर्नी का, और अभी आगे 14 दिन यहाँ पे रह के हम काफ़ी सारे साइंस एक्सपेरिमेंट्स करेंगे, आप लोगों से बातचीत करेंगे। लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं ये जो पड़ाव है ये भी दिखाता है कि ये हमारी अपनी स्पेस जर्नी का भी एक पड़ाव है। तो मैंने बात की थी आपसे कुछ देर पहले जब मैं ड्रैगन में था, और अभी यहाँ से आगे भी बात करता रहूँगा। चलिए इस जर्नी को बहुत एक्साइटिंग बनाते हैं, बहुत उत्साह से इसमें पार्टिसिपेट करते हैं। मैं बहुत उत्साहित हूँ और मैं अपने शोल्डर पे अपना तिरंगा जो मैं लेके चल रहा हूँ, मैं मानता हूँ कि आप सब मेरे साथ हैं, तो मैं ये भी समझ लेता हूँ कि आप सब भी मेरे साथ उत्साहित हैं। और मुझे लगता है कि अगले 14 दिन बहुत ही एक्साइटिंग जाने वाले हैं। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद, जय भारत।
Thank you, Shux. Drodzy Polacy, drogie Polki.
Okay, so the crew of Axiom 4, they're having their first interaction after they docked successfully and entered the International Space Station. And as we stay with those pictures, you heard another address from Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla, who's now become the first Indian to reach the International Space Station. It's not going to be easy. It's one of the first things he said. I'm standing here, it might seem like everything is okay, but it isn't that simple. Let me go across to Dr. Okay, let's cut back. Let's cut back.
Lekcje fizyki dla dzieci w szkół, dla studentów i mam nadzieję, że to jest początek Polski technologicznej, obrazu Polski na świecie właśnie w takich miejscach jak Międzynarodowa Stacja Kosmiczna czy najbardziej zaawansowane laboratoria technologiczne. Bardzo dziękuję Wam za zaufanie. Tak jak już wcześniej mówiłem, kosmos jednoczy. Jesteśmy tutaj razem, jesteśmy silni i budujemy naszą przyszłość. Dziękuję bardzo za zaufanie i do zobaczenia przez najbliższe 2 tygodnie. And over to Tibor.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. There's always a first time for anything, right? Üdvözlök mindenkit a világűrből. Ha jól számolok, akkor 2009 óta először hangzanak el magyar szavak innen. A nemzetközi űrállomás fedezetéről. Charles Simonyi után, aki kétszer is járt itt, én álltak a következő, aki magyarul beszél ezen falak között. Hatalmas megtiszteltetés és elképesztő büszkeség számomra. Alig 30 órája se vagyunk a világűrben, de már volt alkalmam beszélni a szüleimmel egy pár perce, akik elmondták azt, hogy az ő szemükkel mit láttak a Földről, amikor mi elhagytuk azt. És már látjuk, hogy micsoda hatása lesz annak a küldetésnek, és amikor azt mondom, hogy küldetés, ez nem véletlen. Nekünk ezzel a pár következő nappal, héttel valóban egy küldetésünk van. Nem csak egy tudományos küldetésről beszélünk, nem csak kísérleteket fogunk elvégezni, egy inspirációs jelleggel is vagyunk itt. Szeretném megmutatni azt, hogy még egy ilyen kis nemzetnek is sikerült egy ekkora hatalmas dolgot végrehajtania. Én vallom azt, hogy kis nemzetek tudnak a legnagyobbat támadni. Szeretném megköszönni mindenkinek azt, hogy lehetővé tette ezt a küldetést, lehetővé tette ezt az elmúlt pár órát és a következő napokat. Még egyszer csak azt tudom mondani, hogy rendkívül hálás és büszke vagyok, hogy magyarként itt lehetek.
Well, thank you again. Thank you again for welcoming us so openly and warmly. We really, really appreciate all of you and all of the team on the ground as well. Thank you.
Okay, Houston Station, that concludes our event.
Live pictures from the International Space Station. It was a very, very brief interaction there where the crew of Axiom 4, their journey began on Wednesday and they have docked successfully and are inside the International Space Station. Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla, representing India and ISRO, has made history today, becoming the first Indian to enter the International Space Station. Let me see if I can go across to Dr. Ayman Jahangir, who's joining us on the broadcast. Okay, I think all right, we have Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla's family there. Let's cut across live. They're speaking live in Lucknow.
बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है और हमारा बेटा का जो है आज जो है उसका डॉकिंग होनी थी वो भी सफलतापूर्वक हो गई, कल लॉन्चिंग थी वो भी सफलतापूर्वक हो गई और बड़ी खुशी है इस बात की कि मतलब उसका मिशन जो है बड़ी सक्सेस हो रहा है और माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने हम बच्चे को आशीर्वाद दिया और हमें शुभकामनाएं दी। बहुत अच्छा लगा हमें जो है हमारे प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री जो हम लोगों को जो है सम्मान किया गया है, हमारे गौरव का क्षण है हमारे लिए। बहुत अच्छा लगा मुख्यमंत्री जी से मिला, बहुत अच्छा लगा। मुख्यमंत्री जी ने हम बच्चे को आशीर्वाद दिया, हम लोगों को जो है सम्मानित किया, ये बहुत हमारे लिए बहुत गौरव की बात है। हम पूरे परिवार के साथ माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी का धन्यवाद करते हैं। बहुत ही अच्छा उन्होंने आशीर्वाद दिया बच्चे के लिए और भविष्य के लिए भी बहुत कुछ उन्होंने बताया, जैसा कि तो हम उनका आभार प्रकट करते हैं अपने मुख्यमंत्री जी।
कल बेटा गया देश में, आज मुख्यमंत्री से मिले, कितनी खुशी की बात है, कैसा लगा?
बहुत खुशी हो रही, बहुत ज़्यादा। आज बेटे की वजह से हमको बड़े बड़े सम्मानित लोगों से मिलना पड़ा, मंत्री जी से मिलना पड़ा, मुख्यमंत्री जी से मुलाकात हुई हमको और उन्होंने हमारा सम्मान किया। बहुत 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 तहे दिल से उनका धन्यवाद है हमारा। हमारे बच्चे की तारीफ़ की कि आपका बच्चा बहुत अच्छी जगह गया है और हम लोगों को भी सम्मानित किया, तो बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है। बहुत गर्व महसूस हो रहा है, बहुत बहुत ज़्यादा, कि बेटे की वजह से आज हमारी एक नई पहचान बनी है।
Okay. The parents of Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla there. Let me quickly go across to Dr. Ayman Jahangir, who's a space traveler, also collaborates with NASA on space health research. He's joining us on the broadcast today. Sorry to come across to you a little late. We were getting that live feed from the International Space Station there, Dr. Jahangir. It's not easy. That's one of the first things that the Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla representing India said. It may seem easy if you're watching this broadcast, but it isn't easy. To one, be here, and secondly, be there for the next 14 days and come back safely to Earth, right? So what are the challenges that an astronaut goes through while at the ISS and, while his journey to Earth, of course, will take another 14 days?
Well, yeah, so absolutely it's not easy. First on the human body. So he's going to take a few days to adjust to the weightlessness, and that may include being sick, having nausea, maybe even vomiting, and then also just being used to the orientation of being in space. But beyond that, they are going to have to get adjusted to living in space and working a very rigorous schedule. Every minute of Captain Shukla's day is going to be planned for him, whether it's doing research, outreach to people back here in India or the world, or even just reflecting on the enormity of this historic mission. So there is a lot of work to be had. Getting to space is just one part of it, and it'll be interesting to see his perspective as the weeks go by.
Yep. That's all the time I had in this, news wheel. But thank you, Dr. Jahangir, for joining us, on this broadcast. We look forward to speaking to you once again. What a day for India. Yesterday, that picture-perfect liftoff, and today you had Axiom 4 and Dragon dock at the International Space Station. He's now officially the first Indian at the International Space Station. The Tiranga is at ISS tonight. Thanks for watching. Co-powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में हाइकिंग शिप भी बन सकती है।
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला।
Hi, this is Chef Ranveer Brar. Guarantee you brilliance on behalf of IIHM.
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
We hear it was obliteration. It was a virtual obliteration.
When you look at the Wiederaufbau, the reconstruction of the infrastructure is not impossible.
We hear it was obliteration. It was a virtual obliteration. When you take a look at the ground above, don't forget the flame is all underground. But everything above, if you look at the before and the after picture, everything above is burned black. The trees, everything. There's one building, but that's a building that sunk substantially into the granite, so that the fire goes right over it. It was, I believe, it was total obliteration.
And I had received a letter from the Iranian foreign minister saying that they had taken protective measures already. They did not get into details into what that meant, but clearly that was the implicit meaning of that. So we can imagine that this material is there. So for that to confirm, for the whole situation to evaluate, we need to return, because when you look at the Wiederaufbau, the reconstruction of the infrastructure is not impossible. First, there has been some that survived the attacks, and then this is work that Iran knows how to do. It would take some time.
این صنعت ریشه در کشور ما داره و ریشه این صنعت رو، صنعت ملی رو نمیتونن اونها در بیارن. خساراتی البته متوجه ما کردن، اولین بارم نیست که خسارت متوجه این صنعت شده. در گذشته هم مواردی بوده که بلافاصله ما اونها رو جبران کردیم و با توجه به توان و ظرفیتایی که داریم طبیعتاً این صنعت باید ادامه پیدا کنه، رشدش متوقف نمیشه.
Hospital in Khan Yunis. You can see the very big hole in the ground right in front of it. This is the entrance we opened for a very big command and control compound, Hamas command and control compound. Yet this is another example of the cynical use of Hamas, using civilians as human shields, using civilian infrastructure, hospitals again and again. We find those infrastructures. Found underneath the hospital, right under the emergency room, a compound of few rooms. In one of them, we killed Mohammed Sinwar, in approved now. He was the brother of Yahya Sinwar, the previous leader of this murderous and terror organization Hamas.
Palestine Square. You can see behind me the community college. You can see there the Alpha Luna Society for Deaf Children. You can see government buildings. You can see civilian buildings. From outside, everything looks normal. Everything looks like a regular city. When you go inside, you can see on the left side a garage, which is not a garage, it's a workshop. Our troops arrived here before a few days. We found the place.
From your smart screens to your smart television, the trending stories are always breaking the internet. The Axiom 4 crew, piloted by India's very own Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla, is now inside the ISS, that is the International Space Station, the first Indian to do so. We'll get you all the visuals of this historic step. Meanwhile, back on Earth, singer Diljit Dosanjh is facing a nationwide ban, and we'll tell you why, what are the demands, and who all are speaking against him and calling for a total ban on Pakistani actors. Not just this, we're also tracking the story of a 9-year-old Indian chess prodigy who managed to stun Magnus Carlsen, and we'll get you his experience in his own words in a short while from now. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has been royally roasted, quite literally. The clip is hilarious, you just can't miss out on that. Of course, we will tell you exactly what Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei has said in the latest as he breaks silence for the first time after the ceasefire. Lots more packed in for you on this edition of Trending Tonight. I am Rakta Mishra with you. It was 4:01 p.m. when the Dragon capsule carrying the Axiom 4 crew successfully docked at the International Space Station. Eyes brimming with tears, hearts swelling with pride, Shubhanshu Shukla's parents were seen waving the Tiranga as their son, who is piloting the Axiom 4 crew, completed the historic docking. Cheers and celebrations erupted in Lucknow, in his hometown, as India's very own Group Captain Shukla scripted this cosmic history. There you have the visuals from inside the ISS. These are the latest visuals. 26th of June 2025, viewers. This is the date that is carved with stars on the galaxy. Today's date has been etched in history as dreams of 1.4 billion Indians taking off.
Dragon contact and soft capture complete. 1 meter.
Copy.
Dragon Grace and the Axiom Mission 4 crew have arrived to the International Space Station at 5:31 a.m. Central Time over the North Atlantic as the two orbiting around the Earth.
So that was the moment, a historic moment, and today's date has been etched in history. 1.4 billion Indians, the dreams of those Indians taking off, and breaths have been held today, eyes closed when the rocket took off. Let us take a look at the countdown. Of course, we just showed you the countdown, but those are the visuals from Lucknow, his family erupting in celebrations. Inside of the International Space Station are the visuals on the left side of the screen. We're just going to show you that. The crew was all smiles. They were floating midair, hugging each other, marking the start of this 14-day mission.
Flight. Ignition and liftoff.
For 3 nations, a new chapter in space takes flight. Godspeed, AX4.
You see several members of the Expedition 73 crew in and out of the field of view. That is Nicole Air.
Just a few hours ago, viewers, our very own Shuks greeted from up above. It was Namaskar from space that echoed the galaxy when Group Captain Shukla sent his message from inside the Dragon spacecraft. He delivered a message saying that he's very thrilled and loved the ride. Listen in.
एक छोटा सा संदेश मेरे सारे देशवासियों के लिए कुछ ही देर कल 1 महीने क्वारंटीन में रहने के बाद कल हम लोग लॉन्च पैड 39 से लॉन्च हुए, जहां से पहली मून लैंडिंग, जहां से अपोलो 11 मिशन भी लॉन्च हुआ था। और इस समय स्पेस में बहुत ही ज़्यादा उत्साह और बहुत ही ज़्यादा प्राउड फील कर रहा हूँ। और जब हम लॉन्च कर रहे थे तो मेरे स्पेस सूट पे तिरंगा मेरे शोल्डर्स पे था, जो मुझे कहीं ना कहीं ये याद दिला रहा था कि मैं अकेले ये जर्नी नहीं अंडरटेक कर रहा हूँ, बल्कि आप सब मेरे साथ हैं और इस जर्नी का एक हिस्सा हैं। तो ये ISS तक जाने के लिए मेरी एक जर्नी की शुरुआत है एक तरह से। अभी हम लोग कुछ ही घंटों में ISS में डॉक करेंगे और फिर हम इंटरनेशनल स्पेस स्टेशन पे जाके रहेंगे। बट कहीं ना कहीं ये भी दर्शाता है कि ये भारत के ह्यूमन स्पेस प्रोग्राम की एक छोटा सा स्टेप पर एक बहुत सॉलिड और स्टेडी स्टेप है उस डायरेक्शन में जिस तरफ हम जा रहे हैं गगनयान जैसे मिशन को लेके। तो मैं चाहता हूँ कि आप सब मेरी इस जर्नी का हिस्सा बने, आप भी उतना ही प्राउड फील करें जितना मैं फील कर रहा हूँ, बिकॉज ये सब हमारे केवल टेक्निकल एकम्प्लिशमेंट को नहीं दर्शाता है, बल्कि हमारे ये होप्स, ये हमारे एम्बिशंस, ये हमारे एस्पिरेशंस को दर्शाता है कि हम किस तरफ जाना चाहते हैं। तो आइए मेरे साथ इस जर्नी का हिस्सा बनिए। मेरी पूरी कोशिश रहेगी कि अगले 14 दिनों में मेरा जो मिशन एकम्प्लिशमेंट है, जो टास्क है, वो तो मैं अचीव करूँ ही, बट ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा इस एक्सपीरियंस को मैं किस तरह से अपनी फ़ोटोज़ और वीडियोज़ में कैप्चर करूँ ताकि मैं वापस आके आप लोगों के साथ इसे शेयर कर सकूँ। मैं चाहता हूँ कि आप मेरे थ्रू ये जर्नी एक्सपीरियंस करें और इसका हिस्सा बने। एंड चलिए अगले 14 दिन को एक्साइटिंग बनाते हैं और साथ में स्पेस में रहते हैं।
A new milestone unlocked in the chapter of Indian space, the day that will never be forgotten. Now with the docking of the Axiom 4, let's have a look on what is upcoming for the crew. The 14-day scientific expedition in the low Earth orbit will be conducted by this very crew. More than 60 scientific experiments to be performed. Captain Shukla will perform 7 India-led experiments. These experiments will include work on seeds, algae, and human physiology in microgravity. So a lot of focus on agriculture over there as far as his experiments are concerned. All right, viewers, now we shift our focus to the other big trending story of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Diljit Dosanjh, the singer and actor who's making headlines again for all the wrong reasons. He has the actor star movie Sardarji 3 has stirred this massive outrage as the cast consists of Pakistani actor Hania Amir amid the India-Pakistan row. And now the All India Cine Workers Association and Federation of Western India Cine Employees have taken the case to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, writing to him as it demands strict action against the singer for insulting national sentiment. The Cine body has put forward 5 key demands objecting the movie. The Cine body demands that there should be immediate suspension of all social media accounts of Diljit Dosanjh in India. They've also demanded removal of all of his songs and movies from platforms like YouTube, Spotify, JioSaavn and other OTTs. In fact, they also say that there must be permanent ban on Diljit's live concerts and public performances across India. The body has come down heavily on the singer. They have made it crystal clear that there must be no association with him in any government program, event or campaign, viewers. And this is especially because there's a Pakistani actor. And remember, Hania Amir has made controversial statements. She has insulted our forces during Operation Sindoor. Meanwhile, viewers, there are many artists from India, from the Punjabi film industry especially, like Guru Randhawa, who have made statements against Diljit Dosanjh. Randhawa made this cryptic post saying that one's citizenship might not be Indian, but they were born here, so be proud of it. Take a look. He's writing an advice, just an advice. And he also says this country made great artists and we are all proud of it. Please be proud of where you were born. So this is coming as a real jibe on Diljit Dosanjh, viewers. And remember, viewers, this is not the first time that Pakistani artists have stirred controversy. It has happened after the Uri attack, viewers. We've seen the call for ban. We've seen how Fawad Khan's Dil-e-Mushkil, created by Karan Johar, was banned. Then there was Pulwama attack. That boycott call was it was even strengthened. And then we have when we had Pahalgam attack, and then there were actors like Mawra Haqqani, Fawad Khan, Atif Aslam, Myra Khan and Ali Zafar. Neither does Pak stop terrorism, viewers, nor we see Bollywood budging. We do not see Bollywood understanding the sentiments, respecting the sentiments of our forces, of our citizens. Viewers, this is a disturbing trend and the anger is only justified at this point. There's a massive outrage on social media against Diljit Dosanjh. All right, viewers, now some good news. 9-year-old, there are Indians who are making us proud. 9-year-old Delhi's chess prodigy from India, of course, Arith Kapil has stunned the global chess community by nearly defeating world #1 Magnus Carlsen in the prestigious early title Tuesday online tournament. Arith had Carlsen in a completely lost position, showcasing his advanced tactical awareness and calm under pressure. However, with time running out, Arith faced a dramatic turn of events. With just seconds left on his clock, he was forced into a rook versus 2 minor pieces endgame, ultimately resulting in a draw. And I'm being joined by Arith himself, his mother Nisha, also right now joining us on the broadcast from Georgia. He has just completed one match also that has ended in a draw. But thank you so much, Miss Nisha. And Arith, welcome to Republic TV. How are you feeling? There was a lot of talk about your match with Magnus Carlsen. And, we saw how you put Magnus Carlsen in a spot. It was very difficult for him and you were almost going to defeat him. कैसा लगा आपको जब वो मैच ड्रॉ हुआ? क्या रिएक्शन दिया आपने? मम्मी पापा को क्या बताया?
बहुत खुश था और मुझे बहुत अच्छा लग रहा था। जैसे मैम मैच स्टार्ट हुआ तो ये इतना खुश था कि आज मेरा ओपोनेंट मैग्नस कार्लसन है। और ये बताकर इसने मैच शुरू किया और जैसे मैच फिनिश हुआ ये इतना खुश होकर आया हमारे पास कि मम्मी मैंने ड्रॉ कर दिया। इवन मेरी पोजीशन जो थी वो विनिंग की थी, लेकिन टाइम प्रेशर था तो इस वजह से मुझे ड्रॉ करना पड़ा।
इससे पहले गुकेश 19 ईयर ओल्ड है, उन्होंने हराया है। तो आरिद से मैं जानना चाहूंगी कि उनका कोई आइडल है गुकेश, या फिर कोई और भी उनका चेस में कोई आइकॉन है, कोई इंस्पिरेशन है, कोई हीरो है उनका?
मैग्नस।
मैग्नस, वेरी नाइस। मैग्नस को हीरो मानते हैं, हीरो को हराना था आपको, ये बहुत अच्छी बात है आपकी। तो अभी आपका क्या नेक्स्ट गोल है, क्या करना है आपको आरिद?
मुझे वर्ल्ड चैंपियन बनना है।
वर्ल्ड चैंपियन बनना है, दैट्स वेरी गुड टू हियर। एंड इंडिया ऑफ कोर्स हैज बीन ग्रोइंग इन चेस। मैम, मैं आपसे जानना चाहती हूँ कि कब से ये जो आरिद है वो खेल रहा है, कब से चेस में इसकी रुचि शुरू हुई है?
ये मैम 5 साल की एज से खेल रहा है और इसका खुद ही इंटरेस्ट डेवलप हुआ। और ये दिन रात जिस तरह हम लोग सांस लेते हैं वैसे ये चेस करता है।
अच्छा, तो अभी इसकी कितने घंटे लगते हैं इसको जैसे ट्रेनिंग करने में?
मैम 5 to 6 hours आप मान सकते हो एक दिन में।
अच्छा, और अभी स्कूल में भी पढ़ाई बैलेंस करनी पड़ रही होगी साथ ही साथ?
हाँ जी, ये अभी 5th स्टैंडर्ड में है।
ओके,
तो हाँ जी, तो उसकी भी प्रिपरेशन करता है ये
जी। Right. Thank you so much, Ms. Nisha, and thank you so much, Arid. Many congratulations on your fantabulous performance. We look forward to many such achievements and more interaction with you. Thank you so much, Arid. And that's, of course,
thank you, ma'am.
Once again, we see another chess prodigy from India, and again, troubling Magnus Carlsen. With that, viewers, we will take a look at the trends that are running hot on social media. Bengaluru-based defense company BSS Alliance has developed a drone platform equipped with a firearm which is designed for low-altitude tactical operations. The drone integrates with the rifle AK-203 and is capable of surveillance as well as remote engagement. This is India's first AI lethal weapon trial and also first ever AI-driven weapon in India that can fire any gun up to .50 caliber. Queen Maxima of the Netherlands has been accused of mocking United States President Donald Trump live on TV. On Trump's visit to NATO summit, Maxima appeared to imitate Trump's facial expression. There you have it, as she stood right next to him before the cameras. And let me assure you, it is downright hilarious. It is running like wildfire on social media. When asked, when the king had asked Donald Trump if he slept well, Trump replied that it is a great house and broke off a smile to the camera. And a second later, it was Queen Maxima turning and appearing to imitate Trump's expression to the cameras. Social media flooded with comments saying that Queen let her intrusive thoughts win. And one user even say, "So rude, do it again." During a bilateral meeting in Hague, Mark Rutte playfully called Trump as daddy. In a press conference later, a reporter asked Trump if he viewed America's NATO partners as children. Rubio, who was standing beside the president, burst into laughter as Trump replied sarcastically. He replied saying, no, that means NATO partners do like him, and if they do not, he will come back and hit them hard.
Rutte, the NATO chief, who is your friend, he called you daddy earlier. Do you regard your NATO allies as kind of children?
No, he likes me. I think he likes me. If he doesn't, I'll let you know. I'll come back and I'll hit him hard, okay? No? He did it very affectionate. Daddy, you're my daddy.
Mark Rutte, the NATO chief, who is your friend, he called you daddy earlier. Do you regard your NATO allies as kind of children?
No, he likes me. I think he likes me. If he doesn't, I'll let you know. I'll come back and I'll hit him hard, okay? No?
A video on social media platform X has been circulating from Himachal Pradesh's Kullu, showcasing massive floods which was triggered by an unexpected cloudburst in Kullu and Kangra districts. Watch this dramatic visual on your screen. A man impersonated North Korean leader Kim Jong-un outside the NATO summit in the Netherlands. This was an attempt to stage a satirical protest against nuclear warmongering world leaders. He carried signs reading, "Make peace, not NATO," and "No nukes, please," and posed for selfies, drawing attention and also some confusion. In yet another viral video from the Paris Fashion Week, Beyoncé and Jay-Z grooved to Yaar Punjabi song at the Paris Fashion Week. The song was a collab between A.R. Rahman and American songwriter Pharrell Williams. Remember, viewers, this viral video comes just days after Prada models were seen wearing Maharashtrian traditional Kolhapuri chappals without giving any due credits to India. All right, now after 2 weeks of relentless warfare in West Asia, Iran's supreme leader has broken his silence, launching a fiery tirade against the United States and its leadership. Ayatollah Khamenei says, and I quote, "The Islamic Republic slapped America in the face." He accuses Washington of entering the war only to save Israel from destruction. He claims that the United States targeted nuclear sites but achieved little and dismissed Trump's version of events as greatly exaggerated. Khamenei has made it very clear that surrendering is out of question, viewers. Remember, this comes even after there was a leaked report, a US intel report, that also thwarted Trump's claim that there has been obliteration of the nuke sites of Iran. And as we come to the close of the show, let me bring you the visuals of celebrations of the upcoming 26th Kargil Vijay Divas. The Indian Army flagging off forever in Operations Mountain Terrain Bicycle Expedition 2025 from the Siachen base camp on the 25th of June. Watch these visuals and we say goodbye.
Co-powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho Befikar.
Amity has been ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally, a testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked quality.
MDH की देगी मीरज,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मीरज।
विमल में गुलिस्तां के ये कुछ लजीज फरिश्ते जब साथ घुले तो जी ललचाए और दिल कहे कि स्वाद की जुबां में खुद को ऐसे डुबाऊं कि निकल ना पाऊं। विमल की जुबां कुछ है ही ऐसी, मानते हैं? विमल, बोलो जुबां कैसी?
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
European hospital in Khan Yunis. You can see the very big hole in the ground right in front of it. This is the entrance we opened for a very big command and control compound, Hamas command and control compound. Yet this is another example of the cynical use of Hamas, using civilians as human shields, using civilian infrastructure, hospitals again and again. You find those infrastructures. Found underneath the hospital, right under the emergency room, a compound of few rooms. In one of them, we killed Mohammed Sinwar, in approved now. He was the brother of Yahya Sinwar, the previous leader of this murderous and terror organization Hamas.
Palestine Square. You can see behind me the community college. You can see there the Alpha Luna Society for Deaf Children. You can see government buildings. You can see civilian buildings. From outside, everything looks normal. Everything looks like a regular city. When you go inside, you can see on the left side a garage, which is not a garage, it's a workshop. Our troops arrived here before a few days. We found the place booby-trapped. We neutralized the threat and entered inside. I want to show you what's inside. Again, a college, a healthcare for children, citizens, civilians, and more. Come with me. You enter inside, you see a workshop for tunnels. They're building tunnels here. Come with me. You can see inside here, deep down, a tunnel which was built for the last few months. You can see here the lift, heavy duty lift. You can see the phone there with communication down to the tunnel. There are posters of instructions of how to build, for what to do, when to do. You can see all around here cement and concrete and equipment for building the tunnel inside. All of these are the walls for the tunnel, which are taken down with the high lift, down approximately a few tens of meters. Continue with me. This is the head of the tunnels. You put those walls on the sides, these on the top, and this is the tunnel that runs for miles and miles. We've seen these inside. We know these were meant for tunnels. We've seen them inside. We know exactly what they're made for. Again, look from the outside. Palestine Square, community, hotels, colleges, everything as normal. You take 5 meters to the left, a regular garage is a workshop for tunnels. This is the place where they build tunnels. This is how they build tunnels. They use civilian infrastructure to build terror. This is a terror place. There's no other explanation. Look inside again. Try to explain what the reason is to build these things here. So deep, so hidden, and so well planned. Again, when our troops arrived here, all the place was booby-trapped. Because our speciality of seeing these things, we saw the threat before, neutralized it, and entered this place. And started.
Co-powered by Century Ply Club Prime. रहो बेफिक्र.
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला. सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ. डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड में मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा. अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ. सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र.
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का.
MDH की देगी मिर्च.
Behind me, European hospital in Khan Yunis. You can see the very big hole in the ground right in front of it. This is the entrance we opened for a very big command and control compound, Hamas command and control compound. Yet this is another example of the cynical use of Hamas using civilians as human shields, using civilian infrastructure, hospitals, again and again, we find those infrastructure. We found underneath the hospital, right under the emergency room, a compound of few rooms. In one of them, we killed Mohammed Sinwar, been approved now. He was the brother of Yahya Sinwar, the previous leader of this murderous and terror organization Hamas.
Palestine Square. You can see behind me the community college. You can see there the Alpha Luna Society for Deaf Children. You can see government buildings. You can see civilian buildings. From outside, everything looks normal. Everything looks like a regular city. When you go inside, you can see on the left side a garage, which is not a garage, it's a workshop. Our troops arrived here before a few days. We found the place booby-trapped. We neutralized the threat and entered inside. I want to show you what's inside. Again, a college, a healthcare for children, citizens, civilians, and more. Come with me. You enter inside, you see a workshop for tunnels. They're building tunnels here. Come with me. You can see inside here, deep down, a tunnel which was built for the last few months. You can see here the lift, heavy duty lift. You can see the phone there with communication down to the tunnel. There are posters of instructions of how to build, for what to do, when to do. You can see all around here cement and concrete and equipment for building the tunnel inside. All of these are the walls for the tunnel, which are taken down with the high lift, down approximately a few tens of meters. Continue with me. This is the head of the tunnels. You put
the hatchway, and we are going to see the first views of Axiom Mission 4. Commander Peggy Whitson, the first one across the A-Pass hatch, receiving great big hugs.
Axiom 4 crew inside ISS. Docking process marks the start of a 14-day mission, during which the Axiom 4 crew will carry out 60+ experiments, with Shukla performing 7.
What a moment! The soft docking has taken place. There is more to happen. What a moment! Please continue these round of applause and continue to send out all the members of the audience. What a moment! The soft docking has taken place. There is more to happen.
After docking successfully on the ISS, celebrations begin at Shubhanshu Shukla's hometown in Lucknow.
Co-powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
Amity has been ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally, a testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked quality.
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला।
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
Hi, this is Chef Ranveer Brar. Guarantee you brilliance on behalf of IIHM.
विमल में गुलिस्तां की ये कुछ लजीज फरिश्ते जब साथ घुले तो जी ललचाए और दिल कहे कि स्वाद की जुबां में खुद को ऐसा डुबाऊं कि निकल ना पाऊं। विमल की जुबान कुछ है ही ऐसी, मानते हैं ना? विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
We hear it was obliteration. It was a virtual obliteration.
When you look at the Wiederaufbau, the reconstruction of the infrastructure is not impossible.
We hear it was obliteration. It was a virtual obliteration. When you take a look at the ground above, don't forget the flame is all underground.
Two technologies.
Endless possibilities.
Grand Vitara Strong Hybrid. All grip select driven by tech.
Nexa.
Behind me, the European hospital in Khan Yunis. You can see the very big hole in the ground right in front of it. This is the entrance we opened for a very big command and control compound, Hamas command and control compound. Yet this is another example of the cynical use of Hamas, using civilians as human shields, using civilian infrastructure, hospitals again and again. We find those infrastructures. Found underneath the hospital, right under the emergency room, a compound of few rooms. In one of them, we killed Mohammed Sinwar, been approved now. He was the brother of Yahya Sinwar, the previous leader of this murderous and terror organization Hamas.
Palestine Square. You can see behind me the community college. You can see there the Alpha Luna Society for Deaf Children. You can see government buildings. You can see civilian buildings. From outside, everything looks normal. Everything looks like a regular city. When you go inside, you can see on the left side a garage, which is not a garage, it's a workshop. Our troops arrived here before a few days. We found the place booby-trapped. We neutralized the threat and entered inside. I want to show you what's inside. Again, a college, a healthcare for children, citizens, civilians, and more. Come with me. You enter inside, you see a workshop for tunnels. They're building tunnels here. Come with me. You can see inside here, deep down, a tunnel which was built for the last few months. You can see here the lift, heavy duty lift. You can see the phone there with communication down to the tunnel.
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate. Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
On the show tonight, we put China in its place when they don't want to mention Pahalgam, in the SCO joint meeting of the defense ministers. We don't let them get away. We just torpedo. India just torpedoes the SCO meeting. At 8:30 p.m. tonight, America imposes a rule where no visa should be granted without any social media scrutiny. And tonight, why I think India should do the same thing for others as well. At 9 o'clock tonight, Bollywood is back to its Pakistani obsession. Diljit Dosanjh faces a complete boycott, and some sections of woke Bollywood want to find a way to work with the Pakistanis again. And first tonight, ladies and gentlemen, there was an SCO meeting, Shanghai Cooperation Organization meeting, which is held in Qingdao in China. The Chinese thought they were too smart. They thought they could get together with the Pakistanis and issue a statement about Balochistan, indirectly trying to blame India for what's going on in Balochistan. What do we have to do with what's going on in Balochistan? What do we have to do with the torture the people of Balochistan are being made to go through? Their freedom movement. Ladies and gentlemen, the Balochis are speaking up for themselves. But these cunning Chinese wanted to give an impression as if India is provoking the situation in Balochistan. And while doing so, they also absolutely refused to make a single mention of Pahalgam. Now, what is this, ladies and gentlemen? The Chinese are such hypocrites. They speak about terrorism, but they will not speak about the terrorism coming from Pakistan, their all-weather friend. And you know what we did, therefore? Our Defense Minister Rajnath Singh went and torpedoed the whole event. He said, I'm not going to sign any joint statement that does not mention Pahalgam. I am just not going to sign it. And for that, we are so proud of our Defense Minister Rajnath Singh for the nationalist position that he took. He just refused to sign the SCO statement. He said, we are not satisfied with the language of the statement. We are not going to agree with this. And ladies and gentlemen, now let me tell you the inside story. The fact of the matter is we wanted our concerns on terrorism to be reflected in that statement. But as Randhir Jaiswal, the spokesperson of the Ministry of External Affairs, said, one particular country would not accept it. Which particular country might have opposed the mention of terrorist incidents in India, of our terror concerns? Is it Pakistan or is it China? China has reportedly blocked India's proposal at the UN Security Council to designate the Lashkar-e-Toiba and the Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists as global terrorists. So China has a problem with us, it competes with us, it realizes our economy, our growth rates, our purchasing power parity are all going to move ahead of them. So they want terrorism in India to continue. What did we want? We wanted sanctions on this so-called group called the Lashkar-e-Toiba, which tries to use the alliance of the resistance front, which carried out the 2025 Pahalgam attack on the bidding of Pakistan. And China said, no, we don't care, we are not going to include Pahalgam into the joint statement. And here you see at that point of time, Rajnath Singh says that if that is the case, then I'm not going to sign the joint statement at all. Ladies and gentlemen, the same Shanghai Cooperation Organization, which on June 15th immediately sprung into action to condemn Israel's military strikes on Iran, unilaterally put out a statement, does not have similar concerns when our sovereignty is attacked, when our people are attacked, when Indians are killed, when we become victims of terrorism. And therefore, we are forced to put China in its place. I will have a Chinese guest tonight. And the first thing I'll tell the Chinese guest, Victor Gao, who's joining tonight, is this, that China needs to understand we have so much power, so much strength, and so much clout, we can neutralize this kind of a Chinese response very easily, easier than they think. So ladies and gentlemen, tonight, a big shout out for our Defense Minister Rajnath Singh, who's done the right thing, the best thing by putting China in its place. It's a big move by the Defense Minister and by the Government of India. Let's debate.
Defense Minister Rajnath Singh in Qingdao, China for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization's Defense Ministers Summit. The Raksha Mantri's first official foreign visit at a multilateral forum after India's Operation Sindoor.
We reiterate the need to hold the perpetrators, organizers, financiers and sponsors of reprehensible acts of terrorism.
India's position at the SCO was clear that the SCO must condemn the evil of terrorism unequivocally.
Any acts of terrorism are criminal and unjustifiable regardless of their motivation, whenever, wherever and by whomsoever committed. SCO members must condemn this evil unequivocally.
But this morning, India took a tough stand. We refused to sign the SCO declaration, a major setback for the host China. The reason for the fallout? The SCO's pro-terror language in the document, with no mention of cross-border terrorism or condemnation of the dastardly terrorist attack in Pahalgam.
We had Raksha Mantri, our defense minister, participating in the defense ministers meeting of SCO. This meeting happened over 2 days, that is yesterday and today. The defense ministers meeting has concluded. I understand that they could not adopt a joint statement. I also understand that certain member countries could not reach consensus on certain issues, and hence the document could not be finalized. On our side, India wanted concerns on terrorism reflected in the document, which was not acceptable to one particular country.
India held constructive dialogue with other SCO members. Its flat-out refusal to join a unanimous joint declaration shows how Chinese agenda setting can no longer unilaterally dictate the SCO narrative. This is the second time this month that India has flatly refused to join an SCO joint statement. Earlier, on the 14th of June, the SCO put out a statement condemning Israel's strikes on Iran, calling them a gross violation of international law. India back then too had opted out of the SCO declaration, articulating its independent position of pursuing dialogue and diplomacy for de-escalation.
Some countries use cross-border terrorism as an instrument of policy and provide shelter to terrorists. There should be no place for such double standards. SCO should not hesitate to criticize such nations.
India skipping the declaration is also a setback in the bilateral ties. This despite India's repeated insistence of basing the India-China relationship on mutual trust and respect.
5 साल के बाद हमारी ये फॉर्मल मीटिंग हो रही है। सीमा पर शांति और स्थिरता बनाए रखना हमारी प्राथमिकता रहनी चाहिए। म्यूचुअल ट्रस्ट, म्यूचुअल रिस्पेक्ट और म्यूचुअल सेंसिटिविटी हमारे संबंधों का आधार बने रहना चाहिए।
As India's strong stand ended up exposing China's pro-terror stand and its hypocrisy on the global stage.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have Tara Karta, who's former director of the National Security Council Secretariat, great voice on strategy, with us tonight. And we have the great G.D. Bakshi, the one and only G.D. Bakshi, India's most famous voice on strategic affairs. And we have Victor Gao, who's our pro-China voice, and he's Vice President of the Center for China and Globalization, joining us from Singapore this evening. Mr. Gao, we want to have good relations with China, but you spoil it all the time. You spoil it all the time. You know, I feel so bad, General Bakshi, that we tell the Chinese we work together with you. We are a big country. We are going to go ahead of you economically. We are growing fast. We're the most populous country in the world. We have a purchasing power parity of $17 trillion. $17 trillion purchasing power parity. But you want to just help Pakistan. Is that the identity China wants to have in the world? That it's in the Pakistan lobby? The SCO defense ministers meeting in Qingdao, in my view, was a great opportunity to condemn Pakistan for carrying out a terrorist attack on Indian soil and to stand in solidarity with all countries that are victims of terrorism. You can't have a one-sided and biased approach on this. You see, and you can't link one thing with the other. I think what China underestimated was India's ability to make sure there is no joint statement. I see we saw that, General Bakshi. There's no joint statement eventually. Big opportunity lost. The whole Qingdao meeting has ended without a joint statement. So, Mr. Ka, all of this could have been avoided if we worked together. If we worked together, things could be better.
Yeah, thank you, Anna, for having me. Let me make several points. First of all, don't get me wrong. I'm a fierce promoter and advocate for China-Indian friendship. Having said that, China and Pakistan are ironclad friends, so we stand shoulder to shoulder on many other things. The third point, for the terrorist attack happening in Kashmir, you should not jump the gun to say that Pakistan is the organizer or the orchestrator of that terrorist attack. By saying that, you are jumping the gun. You should do all the investigation, come up with all the evidence, and then we go through the due process to really get the real criminal and the culprits to justice. Now, it is very encouraging that the Indian defense minister made it the way to Qingdao and attended the SCO defense ministers meeting. Now, on the other hand, it is a great pity that the SCO joint communique was blocked by one single country.
It was not blocked.
Now, this is...
It was not blocked. Everybody was with India on this. No country there, nobody was comfortable. See, you must understand that on terrorism, all countries are with India. You should also join us. All the countries there, victims of terrorism in their own way at the SCO. You know, they are with us. That's why it didn't go through.
I'm not advocating anyone jumping the gun to say that certain country is the organizer of a terrorist attack. When you are faced with a terrorist attack, deal with the terrorist attack rather than jumping the gun to accuse another country.
Then in that case, no. But then we must have, one second, then we must have similar standards. Let me push this to Tara and then to General Bakshi. Ms. Tara, Dr. Tara Karta, in that case, why should we jump the gun on Balochistan? Because China wanted a mention of Balochistan. Balochistan, the free people of Balochistan, 2,700 people killed, murdered, raped, custodial killings, the kind of terrorism inflicted by the Pakistani army. And this is not something that China wants to talk about. China wants to blame India for what's happening in Balochistan without having a shred of proof. In that context, Dr. Karta, Victor Ga wants to jump the gun. When it comes to India, he wants to jump the gun, it seems. Dr. Karta.
I think it's very strange because one of the few things which unites SCO, which is a disparate set of countries, which the rationale for which I'm still able to not really understood what brings these countries together. But the one thing that brings them together is terrorism. I mean, each of your exercises in Russia, for example, the last one which you had, is all on counterterrorism. Uzbekistan suffers from, half of Central Asia suffers from terrorism. So what is the problem I fail to get the thing, get the rationale for not supporting India's stand. Terrorism is unacceptable. And if you take what is the proof, who do you think would do? This is, at some point, this is a little, I'm sorry for laughing, but who do you think would do terrorism in Kashmir? Do you think it would be some country from outside the Indian Ocean? So at least some kind of, change the lines involved, something at least in saying that, look, this is unacceptable. SCO countries must stand together, and that is good for China. And on the Balochistan issue, there is a clear violation of all possible rights for Balochistan. That is not something that anyone can question. It is absolutely on the ground. There have been, some of these people who have been jailed in Balochistan, the Baloch rights activists, have been nominated for peace prizes worldwide, Nobels, etc. So surely it is again in China's interest to say that, look, bring some peace to Balochistan. I mean, you've got a CPEC going on there. Surely it is in your interest to bring peace to Balochistan and say, get their interests on board.
You see, it's very sad. It's very sad. Victor Kao completely understands the point out here. General Bakshi, I keep telling the Chinese, I keep telling Victor that, see, we are big countries. We're big countries. It's mutually beneficial for big countries to work together. But you know, General Bakshi, the Chinese, they just mess it up every time. Rajnath Singh went and said in the SCO meeting that you must talk about the terrorist attack in Pahalgam. The Chinese went to the Pakistanis and said, do we have permission? Do we have your permission to talk about the terrorist attack in Pahalgam? The Pakistanis said, obviously not, because we have carried out the terrorist attack. And the Chinese then went and came and told us we would have liked to mention it, but Pakistan has not given us permission. The sad part in all of this is, General Bakshi, I think China is demeaning itself by being so much part of the Pakistan lobby.
You know, Arnab, the greatest stumbling block in relations between India and China is Pakistan. Way back in 1990, the Chinese had given the design for the bomb to Pakistan.
Yeah.
They had provided enriched uranium for the first 4 or 5 bombs to Pakistan. The first test of the Pakistani bomb was carried out at Loch Non.
Correct.
Right? And thereafter, Arnab, 70% of Pakistan's tanks, artillery, jet fighters, submarines, Pakistan's frigates, missile frigates are all from China. Its jet fighters are all from China, and China now wants to give them the 5th generation fighter, the first 5th generation fighter in South Asia. They are planning to give it to them at 50% concession. Now, Pakistan is a country that has attacked India militarily 5 times. For 40 years, it has been waging asymmetric conflict. If you support Pakistan, you can't do a more hostile act against India. And just think of it, Kao. I ask you to reflect. What has Pakistan to offer to China? Compare it with India. 4th largest economy, heading to be the 3rd. We have so much in common. We are ancient civilizations that go back thousands of years. We predate the European civilization by millenniums. We have had always excellent relations in the past, right? So I don't see why, for the sake of a state that is on the brink of economic collapse, that is facing a civil war, that is riven by factions, why are you risking India-China relations for the sake of posing up with a hostile Pakistan, whose sole raison d'etre of existence is anti-India? They want to get the Americans on board to fight India. When the Americans dump them, they want to go to China to fight with India. You give them the equipment, then you say, why are relations being spoiled between India and China?
No, and they also see the Chinese concern. To be fair to the Chinese, General Bakshi, the Chinese concern is, and I think Victor will accept it, that they have invested a lot of money in this Belt and Road Initiative and things like that, CPEC and all that. And they put the money, and if Balochistan goes up in flames, which, by the way, Victor, it is already in flames and it will, then all their strategic interests are lost. I want to tell you, Victor, with absolute sincerity and complete confidence, that Balochistan is going to break away. And for that, the suffering of the Baluchi people, the fact that thousands of Baluchi women have been raped and killed, the custodial killings are happening and people are protesting the custodial killing of a 24-year-old Baloch Mullah Bakhsh, forcible disappearances. 2,700 civilians suddenly disappear without a trace. People shot point blank. You know, across Balochistan, this is a freedom movement. It's not a freedom movement you can control unless you put your ground forces there. And you would be foolish to put your ground forces in Balochistan. Ordinary people have unfortunately become suicide bombers. Out of frustration, highways are closed. Balochistan can never normalize, Victor, unless the Pakistani army moves out. We know the place well. We know the free people of Balochistan. Now, you can't blame India for that. No, you see, listen. The only way for you to defend your economic interests in the Baloch area is to stand with the people of Balochistan. You can't stand with the people of Pakistan or the Pakistani army and expect to have peace in Balochistan. It does not work that way.
Let me make a point.
The British had to leave China. The British had to leave India because they're colonizers.
Let me make a point.
The British left us. The Pakistani army are colonizers of Balochistan. You can't blame us for it. We have nothing to do with it.
Yeah. Are you finished? Yeah. Okay. Listen to me. First of all, I met with the governor of Balochistan in Islamabad in November 2024. We had a good chat.
He doesn't represent anyone. He's a puppet. No one. He doesn't represent anyone. He's not a governor. He can't go to Balochistan. He lives in Islamabad. You tell me, Victor, he does not live in his Balochistan.
Second point.
He doesn't live in Balochistan. He lives in Islamabad.
Don't interrupt me, Anand. Second point. Don't underestimate the strength and the resilience of Pakistan's sovereignty and integrity, territorial integrity. If India wants to undermine the territorial integrity of Pakistan, India will fail.
No, who is undermining? Pakistan is undermining the territorial integrity of Balochistan. It's not between us, it's between Balochistan, the free people of Balochistan and Pakistan. Why are you getting into it?
Come here to quarrel with me. You are not listening. Where is your ear? Where are your ears? So, India will serve its own best interest by respecting the sovereignty and territorial integrity of
the Baloch
Pakistan.
people. I agree. We will respect the sovereignty and integrity of the free people of
Balochistan. The so-called
Balochistan.
independence of Balochistan, you will never get away with that.
It is not our thing. They are going to be independent. How many people said, Victor, listen, how many people said the Chinese will never be free? How many people said, how many people said Hong Kong will remain with UK?
I said that. You will never live to see the independence of Balochistan.
You're not understanding the issue. General Bakshi, please explain to him. Tara, explain to him. It is not our problem. It is not our problem. Baluch are very free, independent people.
You will never see the independence of Balochistan.
Why are you taking sides? Why are you taking sides?
I'm not taking sides. I just respect and protect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of any country in the world.
General Bakshi, please advise him. I'm telling you, you're going to get into a big mess. Big mess.
Gao, the Chinese are great believers in the forces of history, right? In 1917, we saw the correlation of the forces of history, gravitate towards the freedom of East Pakistan. Please don't forget, Pakistan has already broken once into two countries because it sought to use Islamic jihadi ideology as a glue to hold together very separate ethnicities. Right? And these ethnicities in Bengal broke away in 1971, despite the Americans sending the 7th Fleet. In 1947 itself, the Khan of Kalat, Victor, was the first one to declare independence. He had direct treaty relationship with the British. Pakistan had no locus standi there. Muhammad Ali Jinnah was the lawyer for the Khan of Kalat when he declared independence. And the moment Muhammad Ali Jinnah became the Qaid-e-Azam in Pakistan, he marched in the Pakistan army. It is on a military conquest that Balochistan was taken by force. How long can you keep a people suppressed by force? Could the Japanese suppress the people of China? Could they hold them
I'm so
down?
happy you mentioned history. Both of us need to study history more. But allow me to mention, if you follow your logic, then someone may tell you that India, by your logic, may eventually break up into 7 countries. Do you want to see that happen?
No, the thing is, it may be your wish, I'll tell you. It may be your wish, but I'll tell you one. I'll tell you one thing. See, please understand. Please understand. Please, I request you to understand not to meddle into the internal affairs of Balochistan. You have no right to interfere in the internal affairs of Balochistan. They're a free people. And by the way, why do you want to? You have invested money with Pakistan, but why make it part of the SCO agenda? Why bring in your economic interests into the SCO agenda? There's a multilateral forum. We have Russia, Kazakhstan, Belarus, other countries. That's your problem. Your problems are not the world's problems, or SCO problems.
The raison of SCO is to fight against the terrorism of all shapes and forms and colors.
What about the terrorism of the Lashkar-e-Toiba? What about the terrorism of the Jaish-e-Mohammed? What about the terrorism that killed 27 people in Pahalgam, Victor? Don't be a hypocrite. You're nailed today.
The loudness of your voice doesn't not mean you are reasonable.
Well, what do you feel about the Lashkar-e-Toiba?
Calm down as an
I'm very calm, yaar. I'm very calm. Why have you blocked the UN Security Council resolution on the Lashkar-e-Toiba? Why have you blocked the UN Security Council resolution on Lashkar-e-Toiba? Are they aligned to you? Aren't you ashamed that you're supporting terrorist groups openly nowadays? Is this what China exists as a country to do? You want to support terrorism.
China as a sovereign country has full right to decide whatever it wants to decide. And you just listen.
Yeah, so
you have no reason
GD Bakshi.
Nation.
Anyway.
Victor Gao, the Chinese are a very pragmatic people. May I, in all sincerity, advise that it would be in your interest to make an outreach to the people of Balochistan and safeguard your investment. You must safeguard your massive investments that you have made in the region. You see, and to safeguard your interests, it would be better for you to also make an outreach to the Baloch people who ultimately own the resources of Balochistan. They have unfortunately been treated like a colony, exploited, their minerals taken away, their gas taken away, sold. Not a penny has been given to them. No development has been done. Your people are there in Balochistan. How much development have you seen there? Any development worth the name? People are picked up Gao from the streets. They're tortured and then dropped from helicopters in their home villages and towns, their bodies.
Very bad.
How long can this
Victor,
go on?
please change your ways. I'm telling you, it's good for China. We can work together in the long term in our mutual interest then.
Thank you for mentioning it. But China will respect Pakistan as any other member of the United Nations, respecting its full sovereignty.
Yeah, but you know, you are being used by the Pakistanis. You are being used by the Pakistanis. You are not going to end up very badly, Victor. On this, I disagree with you. Please support the free people of Balochistan. I wish we could have worked together. I thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the US Embassy in India put out a reminder, rather a warning, asking all visa applicants from India to compulsorily list all social media usernames and handles on every platform that the individual may have held in the last 5 years. The consequence of omitting social media handles is outright denial of an American visa and ineligibility for future visas. Now, my question is, if the US imposes such strong visa requirements on screening social media accounts of visa applicants, should we not do the same for them? Let's impose reciprocity there, which means there's the woke left-lib person who abuses India all the time and is applying for a visa to India, the person should be denied. I think that should be the case. Under every category, such a person should not be given a visa. Let's debate.
The US Embassy in India has issued new guidelines for visa applicants. List all your social media accounts or risk visa denial. Under Trump 2.0, United States has been keeping a close watch on the immigrants.
We have implemented a vigorous new visa policy that will prevent foreign nationals from coming to the United States to foment hatred against our Jewish community. We are holding international organizations and nations accountable for rhetoric against Israel that resurfaces in the manifesto of monsters.
Anti-government protests on US campuses have been a major trigger behind this changed stance.
If you apply for a visa to enter the United States and be a student, and you tell us that the reason why you're coming to the United States is not just because you want to write op-eds, but because you want to participate in movements that are involved in doing things like vandalizing universities, harassing students, taking over buildings, creating a ruckus, we're not going to give you a visa.
Republic asked Ministry of External Affairs whether India will bring in a reciprocal policy.
On the guidelines that has been issued by the US Embassy with regards to visa applicants, as in their social media handles will be they will be kept in check. So is India going to do something of the same sort, or is it required that we bring in something similar to that or reciprocal to visa applicants here in India?
On the guidelines regarding visa issues, yes. You see, visa matters, immigration matters are matters which pertain to sovereign functions of any country. But having said that, we have seen the guidelines issued by the US side, the US Embassy here, US government, regarding providing details of social media identifiers in visa applications. But it is our belief that all visa applications of Indian nationals should be treated on the basis of merit, and we remain engaged with the US side on all mobility issues and consular issues to ensure that the legitimate interests of Indian nationals are safeguarded.
While the United States under Trump is taking serious measures, why shouldn't India also filter anti-India elements before allowing visa to them? Should India too adopt social media checks for granting visas?
Karthikeya, Tanna, I want to go to you first because you're an immigration attorney and a political commentator. You think we can impose the same thing because all these wokes want to come to India, to abuse Modi, to abuse the Modi government, support Pakistan and do it openly here in the name of academia and various other, guises. Can we also block them?
Yes, absolutely, because visa issuance, remember, is a privilege and not a right, and a significant factor in the issuance of visas, whether in the United States or in India, is the foreign policy and national interests of the United States. I mean, for example, US has long barred people who have had membership in the Communist Party or any totalitarian party. And that's been a question on every immigration application since 1950s. So obviously, if it is India's national interest not to allow people who, either profess certain kind of views or have belonged to certain organizations which are antithetical to India's interests, absolutely India has the right as a sovereign country to place restrictions. But by the way, Arnab, as an immigration attorney, I should mention this disclosure of social media accounts is not a new phenomenon. It has been there since the first Trump administration. And by the way, on forms, and Biden administration did not remove that either. What has changed, of course, is that they're going to use that information to also check if there's anti-Semitism and other things that are again.
Yeah. We also want to check whether someone coming to India is anti-Hindu. If there are people coming to India who are anti-Hindu, right? Who talk about Brahminical oppression, try to oppose, Hinduism in every form. We had that former Twitter guy, didn't we, Kapil, who came to India and then stood with some loser journalists. I don't know if they were on their payrolls. We should have allowed.
I think Jack Dorsey was just clueless. He didn't have an idea what he was holding.
Yeah, but I'm saying, why should we be so generous to people who abuse us? We'll also stop them.
Allow me to make my
yes,
point.
Absolutely, and absolutely, and for example, India.
Or maybe if Rahul Gandhi goes to the US and meets Ilhan Omar, maybe we should stop him from re-entering the country till he explains why he went Ilhan Omar.
We all know your obsession about Rahul Gandhi.
Or you go to China and sign an agreement with China. You can't come back without explaining what you signed. That no, we need to find out the social media policy of everyone entering our country.
Arnab, it's an important issue. Let's talk sensibly and allow me to make my point. You're trying to mix two issues here. I agree with you to an extent that it is the prerogative of the government to ensure that no individual or part of any organization who has interest against the interest of our nation should not be allowed here. There cannot be any doubt about it. That should be the policy.
Yeah, on that just one point. Natasha Kaul, who testified against India. Natasha Kaul, who testified against India on Kashmir before a US congressional panel, cannot be allowed to enter the country or have an OCI card.
Arnab, now what you are basically trying to say is...
I'm not trying to say, I'm saying it.
Someone is against our nation or not basis their social media posts. Not tomorrow.
Yeah, how else do you want me to figure? You want me to do a narco test?
I think it's a, if this is the mechanism that you will need to use to judge...
No, I'm fine. I'll do a narco test, but then you'll say I'm against human rights.
Then we have a WhatsApp misinformation university. This would be a WhatsApp intelligence agency, which will work on this.
Serious baat karo. You are down on the floor and crying right now. You're not being able to debate with me tonight.
Figment of their own imagination. What I am trying to say here is that if this is the basis on which you will decide someone gets the visa or not, then I say this with a sense of responsibility that this would be an intelligence run by a WhatsApp university fiddled with misinformation.
Okay.
You will, of course, you will have...
Okay, thank you. 1 minute. Kapil.
Whether someone gets visa or someone doesn't get visa, but if basis that tomorrow you will say you post, few, LinkedIn or, social media, Twitter posts to praise a particular country to get a visa. That's how your intelligence will work.
Okay, Kapil, now have you completed? I mean, do you need to speak so long to make a point?
No.
I understood,
no? The point is...
Be smart. You're a smart guy. You complete your point quickly like me.
It's absolutely stupidity. If someone has introduced a stupid regulation, it's not necessary for us to, fall in that, stupidity. And of course, let me also tell you, there are constitutional safeguards. We have,
our constitutional safeguard, my foot.
Of course, yes.
My foot.
You go and read judgments. In fact, there is a constitution judgment in your name, which has been quoted everywhere. Which
my
is
name?
Landmark judgment. I am saying
my name?
People.
My name? Why are you dragging me into this?
No, I am saying because in fact, I wanted to quote a judgment. Because your judgment, your name is being now, held.
That's all right. You people have put me in jail so many times. I'm on every judgment. Every time I get bail, there's a judgment in my name. That's all right. Now listen to me. My serious note, I want to get an Abhijit and Pula Rao. See, just give me a moment. See, by the way, I'll just complete. Abhijit, all of this said by Kapil Madan, the man who said that the US was good in denying Narendra Modi a visa, despite the fact that the Supreme Court cleared him in every case. Says the man who said India's Prime Minister, then Chief Minister of Gujarat, very good, he was denied a visa. Says the man, tomorrow Kapil Madan will say Khalistani sympathizers should get a visa. Tomorrow he will say the people from the Babbar Khalsa and God knows what else, will get a visa. No, you will say that. You're woke. You're a woke man, and Abhijit will take you on and tear apart your wokeness. Abhijit!
There are two issues here. The first is Mr. Madan doesn't seem to know the difference between WhatsApp, Twitter and Facebook. Okay, WhatsApp can be anything. Twitter and Facebook, you only put up what you want. There are extremely good forensic tools out in public where you can go back to somebody's earliest posts, replies and things like that and very clearly tell what this particular person's inclinations are, who he has supported, etc., etc. I don't know if he owns a smartphone or anything. He may not be up to date on modern technology, but he should really get up to date on modern technology. That's number one. Number two, the problem with the Indian visa system, where we absolutely should be checking people's Twitter and Facebook accounts, LinkedIn, all of that, is the biggest issue there is zero accountability. You know, our visa section in Canada, for example, is known to take money from Khalistanis and pass it up the chain and give people visas. There are people that IB and RAW have blacklisted in Pakistan, where the successive ambassadors to Pakistan have overruled and given visas to come for Aman Ki Tamasha and nonsense like that. First of all, we should not have any visa officers abroad. It all needs to be a blind process centralized in India.
Centralized, exactly.
By ambassadors. And absolutely, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, all of these need to be scrutinized. If somebody comes into India and turns out to be, a Pakistan sympathizer, or like this fellow Zoran Mamdani, a full-blown jihadist, what needs to happen is the visa officer who gave the visa needs to face serious career consequences.
It's a deterrent. You see, the example from Pulla first. Pulla, then I'll come to you. Pulla has not spoken. Now, the fact is, Pulla, we need to learn from history. David Coleman Headley entered India, American national, clean passport, set up for 2611. You see, why should we be the liberal guys? Come abuse me, come to my country, do business.
One thing I'm really surprised. What? This is a Me Too situation. You're copying. If the US government did not bring this in, that means the Indian government also would not bring it in. Where is the initiative? Where are the ideas in this government?
What kind of argument is that? If they are doing a good thing, I support them.
They should have done this long ago. One more point. You know, you get 1,000 guys coming through the airport. There are 5 lakhs jumping over the borders from Nepal and Bangladesh. They have a free run. You should have a uniform policy. I would like to say, if you want security in this country, there are no two issues about it. Security. Then it should be comprehensive, very holistic. You just simply can't say, you apply to the embassy and now I go through. You can just go to Nepal and come by bus. Nobody stops you. You can jump over from Bangladesh easily. Where is this?
But through social media, you can find out a lot. Through social media, you can find out whether the person has been a member of ISIS.
Okay. Does the Rohingya have social media from Rakhin?
Yeah, if a Rohingya has links, I can find out. I can find out a lot from the social media fingerprint.
One small issue.
I can.
One small issue.
Oh, so you want to...
5 crore bogus Aadhaar cards. Has government done anything about it?
Karthik.
Now something very fanciful comes out and we all clamor. I'm not saying this is bad.
You're confusing issues.
Security.
One is an additional layer of checks. You are talking about refining the system. This is talking about adding an additional layer of checks in the system. You're comparing apples and oranges. Where is the comparison? So the police doesn't work properly, so you want to abolish the police.
How many people, Mr. Iyer, come through the airports? Very few, maybe 0.01%. The others just walk in. What I'm trying to say is, why has the government slept through these 11 years? I wish somebody would answer.
Your answer should be set up electrified border fences all over.
Yes.
Not reduce vigilance. Not reduce vigilance at that 1% who come in through airports, right?
No, I don't say that. You have vigilance. It should not be that you guard the front door and the back door, and the guys loot through the back door. You grab the front door. You have full security, and the back door is open. That's what they're doing.
There are 12 million people who came through the US southern border.
No, but he's not denying. 1 minute, Karthik. He's not denying that Trump is doing a good thing, because look at it from an American perspective, right? Some jihadist or person with a jihadi mindset comes into America, takes the advantages of American democracy to weaken it from within. Similarly, some jihadist or a woke or an anti-India person enters India, uses Indian democracy to weaken it from within. We should allow it. I mean, you're a fine one. Karthik, I don't know. I think Kapil and Pulla have lost this one. I think they've lost this one. Karthik to Kapil. Karthik and Kapil. Karthik. Windows, Karthik.
On the point that Kapil mentioned about, your case, Arnab, you're an Indian national. What we are discussing about is foreign nationals whose entry into India is a matter of privilege and not a right. Arnab, so obviously freedom of speech and expression does apply to you. But when it comes to actual visa issuance, whether or not to approve, whether or not to even issue in the first place, or whether or not to revoke. For example, for OCI, well before all this controversy erupted, for OCI, we have restrictions. They cannot come here and do missionary, tablighi activities, mountaineering activities, or even journalistic activities for that matter. And it's for good reason. So I think India has the sovereign right to identify what issues arise from foreign nationals coming in and what ruckus they create and what issues they create, and then thereby set policy and change it from time to time, evolve it from time to time, in order to make sure that, while we have the wokes in India, while we have the, Jaichans in India, we don't want any more to enter from, across the border or even outside India. Like, why shouldn't India be allowed to do that? We have enough Jaichans in our own country. And we have our hands full dealing with them, so we can obviously restrict entry of those other, people who want to essentially weaken India from within. Arnab, so I agree with you.
I think Ilhan Omar should not be allowed into India. What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think, Kapil?
With Canada and Mexico, 4,000 or 5,000
Kapil will want Ilhan Omar to come here.
No, I'm sorry, Arnab. I will not make any comment on any individual.
Why won't you? I'm not talking about an imaginary individual.
That's the prerogative.
I'm talking about your Rahul Gandhi's best friend.
Now, if someone is critical of you, Arnab, that's your prerogative. That's the test. That's exactly I wanted to highlight. But allow me to first respond to Mr. Mitra. Mr. Mitra said that, WhatsApp is different, Twitter is different. And he was just telling me that I'm not updated. WhatsApp also has a feature wherein you can have a channel where you can disseminate information to public at large, which can be accessed by everyone. Perhaps he's not aware, but it's not. Mr. Mitra is not relevant for the debate. I think our subject is more relevant. I just wanted to, correct him where he was wrong. Now allow me to make my point here. Again, I would say, whatever you are saying, I am with you. There should not be any person who is against our nation. He should not be given entry here. But I think the mode and manner through which you want to use this and apply is nonsensical. Only on the basis if you think someone makes his social media post from private to public, that should be the basis on which you will decide someone is against our nation or someone is not against our nation.
It's not a social media post. It's a starting. My point is,
let me tell you.
You're talking about things you have not even read. Have you even read the basic research that the public is
the person who heads
this is WhatsApp misinformation.
Immigration office, that's the basis
Abhijit,
which you want to decide.
Abhijit Lada.
This is an additional check. That isn't the sole basis of making the assessment.
Exactly.
There is a whole bunch of things. This is an additional layer of assessment. Your WhatsApp is your personal number. Notice even in the American notification, they do not include your WhatsApp.
That's why what happens, half knowledge is always very dangerous. Go and check. Now you have a feature where you can have your public channel by way of WhatsApp.
Oh God, this man thinks he's made a discovery of a WhatsApp channel.
American notification does not ask for your WhatsApp. Do you understand that? Do you speak English, Mr. Madan? I'm speaking in English.
You are expert in technology. You are also
Tamil,
expert in international law. So it's not.
10 seconds.
No, Karthik, please. Last word to Karthik.
Give me 10 seconds.
It's not about the technology.
Give me 10 seconds.
It's about the
Kapil, by the way, in the visa application form, it's not just social media accounts, it's also all phone numbers you have used in the last 5 years. So if the US wants, they can access those so-called public WhatsApp channels. End of debate. Why are we debating on, what WhatsApp can do and what WhatsApp cannot? The phone numbers are also to be included in the form. And since 2018.
I think you've not. All I'm trying to, now let's assume a situation where a person, posts positively about India, but technically he is someone who is, working against the interest of our nation. Would you use social media posts to determine whether he should be given entry or not? That's your intelligence work. No, you have immigration department.
Okay, now I think that is, as has been said, social media is not the only. Social media is not the. Yeah, he said it before, and social media is not the only sliver. There are several slivers. Social media is an important one. If you have nothing to hide, why agitate? At 9 o'clock this evening, thank you for that. At 9 o'clock this evening, why I believe it's time for a total boycott of Pakistanis, and why I think Diljit Dosanjh, facing a boycott call, deserves no sympathy.
Two technologies.
Endless possibilities.
Grand Vitara Strong Hybrid. All grip select driven by tech.
Nexa.
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar. Amity has been ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally, a testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked quality.
Hi, this is Chef Ranveer Brar, and I'm here to tell you that also gives me the license to guarantee you brilliance on behalf of IIHM.
Join International Institute of Hotel Management.
देगी मिर्च का तड़का अंग अंग फड़का
MDH की देगी मिर्च where the software engineer meets the gifted content writer, meets the cool UI UX designer, meets the talented photographer to create the big dream. The world comes together at Sharda University. So where are you?
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
Behind me, the European hospital in Khan Yunis. You can see the very big hole in the ground right in front of it. This is the entrance we opened for a very big command and control compound, Hamas command and control compound. Yet this is another example of the cynical use of Hamas, using civilians as human shields, using civilian infrastructure, hospitals again and again. You find those infrastructures. Found underneath the hospital, right under the emergency room, a compound of few rooms. In one of them, we killed Mohammed Sinwar, been approved now. He was the brother of Yahya Sinwar, the previous leader of this murderous and terror organization Hamas.
Palestine Square. You can see behind me the community college. You can see there the Alpha.
Two technologies.
Endless possibilities.
Grand Vitara Strong Hybrid. All grip select driven by tech.
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
Hi, this is Chef Ranveer Brar, and I'm here to tell you that also gives me the license to guarantee you brilliance on behalf of IIHM.
Join International Institute of Hotel Management.
Where the software engineer meets the cool UI UX designer, meets the gifted content writer to create the big dream. The world comes together at Sharda University. So where are you?
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ, डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड में मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग स्टिक भी बन सकती है।
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
Where the software engineer meets the cool UI UX designer, meets the gifted content writer to create the big dream. The world comes together at Sharda University. So where are you?
Behind me, the European hospital in Khan Yunis. You can see the very big hole in the ground right in front of it.